Tell your story.
Change the conversation.
Organized by students.
TEDxYouth at SHC.
It's after school. I'm sitting at my desk, and you wouldn't know it, but there's an action movie going on in my head. My mind is racing, and the gears in it are spinning so fast, it almost feels like they're on overdrive. It's pretty chaotic. And though my thoughts seem all over the place, each and every one of them is focused on one thing: fear. It's head, and I can feel my heart beating loudly in my chest. I can hear my uneven breathing, and I notice that my hands are mindlessly ripping a piece of paper. I hate these feelings, but I can't get away from them because fear is just too strong, and I am already really tired. Since the beginning of 8th grade, I was wasting life being afraid of the things that could happen in it. I was afraid of not being up to people's expectations, and I wanted so much to please everyone else that I became overwhelmed with the belief that I was inadequate. I told myself I'm not good enough for my parents, for my teachers, for my friends, and for the people I haven't even met yet, but will meet. I was afraid of my grades dropping and falling behind others, and I forgot that life is not a race. And I didn't want to try new things because I was afraid of failure that, again, could follow. Fear found a place in me, and like the magnet that it is, it brought more emotions of sadness, anger, and jealousy. For quite a while, it was like life was flashing a billboard that just said fear, fear, fear. And it was exhausting to have to keep worrying about everything that could go wrong. So I decided to do something about it. That day, after I managed to calm myself enough, I looked down at my hands and found that I had been ripping papers. And I began to wonder about how flimsy paper is and how easily it could be torn apart. When I was done, there was just one tiny piece left in the palm of my hand that I could easily hold in my fist. And that's when it came to me. Fear was just like this piece of paper, and that it could be torn apart. It's quite the revelation, right? Actually, wrong. It's pretty simple. Fear can only be as powerful as we let it be. At that moment, I decided to tear the paper for everything I was afraid of. I was scared of people judging me, but after tearing the paper, I found that though I do care what people think of me, in the end, this life is mine, and what I decide to do with it will bring it to where it will be. What others think of me and my decisions will be secondary to what I believe about myself and my decisions. I was afraid of my grades dropping and falling behind others, but I tore the paper. And I know now that though grades are important, it is even more important to me that I am trying my best, working hard, and staying healthy. I refuse to allow letters control or define me. And yes, I was afraid of falling behind others, but I tore the paper. And I realized I can never be the best because there's always someone better, and that is completely fine. Rather than being jealous of others all the time, I want to focus on bettering myself and doing the best I can, learning from what I do right, and especially what I do wrong, because we know there will be a lot of those. And though I was afraid of failure, I am not afraid of failing anymore, because I tore the paper, and I realized that if I never try, I will never know if success is waiting for me. And if I do fail, that will just be one more thing for me to work harder at, or one thing for me to let go. Now, all this is great, but what strikes me most when I look back is that it was a change in perspective that allowed me to stop being afraid. Nothing more. All it took for me to regain control of life was taking a step back and looking at problems through a different lens. Every day, someone falls to the trap of fear and depression. And every time that happens, the world loses one of its sparks. I cannot count how many young adults I know that are truly undergoing these feelings, but are many times overlooked. We have become a society where we want to push ourselves to the maximum, and perfection is our ultimate goal. But because of this view, we become afraid of failure, and we become angry at ourselves when we do fail. But how are we to stop this? The truth is, I don't think anything can completely stop this trend. But I do know that thinking of fear as a piece of paper has really helped me. I know that if we can actually implement the idea, little by little, a world of positive emotions that fear has hidden away opens up to us. I no longer feel so afraid that I am overwhelmed, because I know that fear only has the amount of power I allow it to have. And it is awesome to know that just a change in perspective can make it a flimsy shred of paper in the palm of my hand. Thank you.